Tito does have more than enough zealots to keep him from winning a stand-up fight. Gristle, though, is just going to take advantage of the fact that he does have speed, and actually going to go around and knock out a whole bunch of probes at the expansion. A little bit of mismicro on those lings, I would say, just because they kind of died, and these last two weren't able to get some more kills, and I believe that if he had just focus fired down those probes, he would have been in a much better position. We can see that he is of 7 drones right now, which is not the position that you ever want to be in. You never want to be behind any mount, and oh my gosh, he's pumping more drones as we speak, just really solidifying their advantage. We actually see air +1 coming up for Grizzle, and in the meantime, Tito is building a whole bunch of cannons at this front, which isn't really the greatest idea, I want to say. I mean, cannons are spiffy, and he's actually going to block that off with a gateway, so he's going to be super sealed. But with his gateway block, he doesn't really need cannons here. And he also doesn't have that much at this choke right up here, at where the destructible rocks used to be. He does have his forces, but if Zerglings got creative, they could just run around. Tito is actually coming out for a push right now, but he doesn't have anything to deal with the Mutalisks that Grizzle has. Grizzle has 4 Mutalisks, Tito has 2 Stalkers, and Mutalisks aren't, like, amazing at killing Stalkers. Nothing else in Tito's army shoots air. One Mutalisk does get a little out of position, just flying in for no reason, and is probably going to get taken to very low health by the Stalkers. We can see that as soon as all of Grizzle's Mutalisks are alive, he's just able to sweep up these Stalkers from Tito. And Tito right now has no anti-air, so these Mutalisks are just going to be able to slowly pick apart these forces. Tito's forces do have a bunch of health, and they do a bunch of damage to buildings though, so he is going to be able to take up this expansion if he does choose, and this Queen dying is going to be huge economic blow to Grizzle, just because Spawn Logger is so important as the third player. Grizzle, you can see, is just taking out all these Immortals at the same time, not even bothering to focus fire, because he knows that Grizzle does not have anti-air attacks, and he knows that Tito doesn't have anti-air attacks in the meantime. Tito, in the meantime, is actually... he's pumping Stalkers slowly off of his gateways. He's not going to have anywhere near enough Stalkers to deal with these Mutalisks, though. So as soon as these Zealots die for Tito, it's just going to be... he's going to be in this absolutely horrible position. He doesn't have any drones mining at his main. He's got like 4, and he's got a couple of cannons coming up at his natural, but Grizzle does have enough Mutalisks that he's going to be able to deal with those cannons very quickly, unless those Stalkers are right on top of him, and even then it's going to be really interesting. Choice. Tito is actually floating like 1200 gas, which is not good. He needs to find something to spend that gas on. He could get Phoenixes, he could get Sentries. Sentries are just very solid against Mutalisks in general, and they don't cost very many minerals, and he's a little bit mineral starved right here. Tito actually looks like he's abandoning his main. He's pulling all the probes off because he knows that he's going to have a hard time defending that against Mutalisks. He's solidifying all of the important things that he has to defend under these cannons, which is a really good idea. He's going to lose a whole bunch of tech buildings if this attack does go off, if Grizzle does decide to run in with Mutalisks, but at least he's going to still be mining. And that's a very appropriate response to any sort of harassment. Just to say, hey, I'm having problems defending in multiple places, so I'm just going to consolidate as much as I can, and I'm going to take all of my important stuff and I'm going to move it to one area so that I don't have to defend all over the frickin' map. And we can see that Grizzle is actually going to go ahead and take a relatively offensive expansion. He's going to go ahead and take this 12 o'clock blue mineral patch, and this means that he gets essentially a free chance to expand to the gold mineral patch as soon as he defends the rocks, because he's already defending all of the areas. And oh my gosh, Mutalisks flying in for Grizzle, and these are just going to be able to do whatever they want in the main, but again, they're not going to be able to kill any miners. Tito is actually being really offensive with the Stalkers, which is not what he wants to be doing, because if Grizzle just turns around, Grizzle is not turning around though, Grizzle is just choosing to focus fire down buildings, which is not the right choice, because he did have a substantial number advantage over these Stalkers, but those Mutalisks are dying very quickly, as they're just focus firing down buildings, and the Stalkers are focusing the Mutalisks infestation pit coming up for Grizzle. And this is very good, because as soon as he gets that infestation pit up, and as soon as he has gas, he doesn't have any gas right now, he's producing a bunch of roaches and not Mutalisks, which is a little bit interesting, but as soon as he gets gas, he's not mining gas at his expo. That's probably why he has 0 gas. 1 base Mutalisks plus infestation pit is a lot of gas lull. Grizzle has actually amassed a substantial number of Zerglings, and as soon as these roaches pop for him, I would not be surprised if we saw him just move out and take out Tito's main right here. Tito, in the meantime, has actually started up probe production at his main. He's deciding that he needs to be mining off of more than just 1 base. And a bunch of Zerglings coming in for Grizzle and going to take out some more buildings. The Stalkers are going to be terrible against these Zerglings. You can see these Zerglings just cutting off surround very quickly, and Tito Stalker going down with hardly any Mutalisks, hardly any Stalkers, hardly any Zerglings being lost by Grizzle. Wow, I don't know what was up with my brain right there. Yeah, Tito losing a Stalker for a bunch of Zerglings, and then a little bit of a suicide attack by Grizzle there, just because he didn't quite have the Zergling numbers to take down that many Stalkers, especially with some very nice Stalker micro out of Tito. I'm sorry that I wasn't being good and commenting on that as it happened because my brain was just kind of dying. Tito in the meantime is actually chrono boosting the Link, or he was chrono boosting it. He's got plenty of energy on both of these nexuses, so hopefully we will see another chrono boost come up shortly, and he's pumping more and more stalkers. He actually has a couple of zealots out. As a Zerg player, when I go mutiling, the thing that frustrates me the most is not Blink Stalkers, it's not Sentries, it's just really, really zealot-heavy Protoss armies. And we can see that Tito isn't quite doing that, because when you're going mutiling, the thing that does the most damage isn't the Mutalisks. At least not in my experience. Mutalisks aren't really that amazing killing things. But upgraded Zerglings, especially upgraded Speedlings, like +2/+2 Speedlings, when you're sitting around in a lair and you're spamming them, are just incredible against Stalkers and Sentries. Unless there's amazingly perfect force fields going off, and they just kill things so fast. The Mutalisks just are practically there as meat shields. So when Protoss goes really, really zealot heavy, what ends up happening is all of your Zerglings die instantly, and then the Stalkers and Sentries have nothing on them and are just perfectly free to kill the Mutalisk. We do see Hydralisk Den going down for Grizzle, and we also see Roach Speed being upgraded. He does have an Infestation Pit. We haven't seen any Infestors come out, and he's not upgrading to Hide, he's actually getting Overload Speed instead, and this is a relatively late Overload Speed. We can see, though, that as Grizzle coming in with an attack with these Roaches, this range is really, really working against him, because all of Tito's Stalkers, even though Tito doesn't have quite as many Stalkers as Grizzle has Roaches, all of Tito's Stalkers in these cannons are just able to take free pop shots at these Roaches. Grizzle getting a little bit out of position here with these Roaches. He's got like 3 Roaches and then 6 or 7 Stalkers, when he's got a whole bunch more Roaches down here that are just firing on these cannons. A little bit of missed micro again going off, and that is going to cost him, just that range and that really, really bad positional disadvantage from where he had those Roaches, just because Tito was able to position his Stalkers very well and take advantage of that range and take all those free pot shots on the Roaches and really tank everything with this Robo Facility. This Robo Facility, I do want to talk about this for a second, does mean that Tito can just throw down a bay and make Colossuses, which are incredible against any ground unit ever. They're not quite as good against Roaches as they are against Hydras, just because Hydras have no health, and Roaches have a bunch of health, but they're still really good, and it also means that you can make Immortals, and Immortals are incredible against Roaches, as we have seen already in this game. Just a couple of Immortals mixed in with a Stalker army will make Tito's Roaches fall very fast. Grizzle is not really harassing with his Mutalisks, he's just got them kind of hanging out, which is interesting. One of the important things to do, though, when you've got a bunch of Mutalisks, or really any fast unit, is not necessarily to attack, but just to be, wow, some nice Blink micro coming out of Tito right there. Pulling back, and he's got a bunch of Links. See, look what I'm talking about with the Links here. The Links are just up in the Stalker's face, eating a whole bunch of shots, and they're taking a whole bunch of free pot shots. While the Roaches, they do have speed, so they are going to be able to keep up with these Stalkers until the Stalkers blink. While the Roaches just kind of sit back and get even more damage on. The Speedling, you can see right here, is doing just a little bit of damage to the Stalker because it is faster. Tito waiting until the very last minute to blink up on this ledge, and Grizzle's going to go ahead and come down for just a little poke in front of these gateways. I haven't seen Tito use these gateways, and he actually hasn't made anything into warp gates all game. He's just doing so now. I believe the upgrade might have just finished, and I might just be completely blind. But Grizzle is coming up with a whole bunch of Stalkers, and we are hopefully going to see some more nice macro out of Tito here. Tito does have an Immortal, and he, again, does have just that really, really big range advantage, plus Blink, plus all these cannons, so he can hide behind his buildings and really use that to his advantage in this upcoming battle. Tito actually has a bazillion Stalkers. We can see that it's 23 Roaches to 2 Immortals and 13 Stalkers, so that's not the most even thing in the world, but I think Tito's going to be fine. And again, these Mutalisks just sitting here for Grizzle. What I don't think I actually finished saying, oh my gosh, this Rebel Facility getting sniped so quickly by Roaches, and Tito not doing an amazing job of getting the Stalkers into position immediately. We can see Grizzle charging in. Grizzle is going to get immediately right on top of these Stalkers, which is a very nice move, preventing Tito from really microing outside. But Tito does have Blink, and Blink is going to be able to just move all of the Stalkers out of range, and these Roaches do die so quickly to these Mortals. We can see 7 kills in one, 4 kills in the other. That's 11 kills between them, and they're very, very fresh Immortals. If you recall, Grizzle had like 23 Roaches, so the 2 Immortals killed more than half of Grizzle's army. Tito coming up for a little bit of a counterattack. He has seen that Grizzle has that expansion. He did see that actually quite some time ago, and he's just going to be able to power down this hatchery very quickly, especially with the damage from those Immortals. The Broodlings actually that are going to come out are probably the most dangerous thing for him right now, just because Broodlings are so good, and they're uncreative, and they're relatively fast. It's just like a billion free Zerglings. Grizzle going to come up for just a little bit of a counterattack, a little bit of a backstab on Tito. Tito actually did lose his robotics facility, which is very important because it means that he can't produce Immortals any longer. So if Grizzle just keeps spamming roaches, he's going to be in not necessarily the best situation in the world. Tito does have a whole bunch of stalkers up. He just was able to warp get in several, and if he micros well, he's going to be able to take out these roaches. It does not look like he's paying that much attention to the battle. We don't see any blink, we don't see any pullback, and there we go.